You ever notice how the narcissist suddenly becomes cold, distant, detached the moment you try to speak to them? Picture this. You're in the living room, or maybe the bedroom. The air feels heavy. The energy feels off. They're right there, but they feel miles away. They're hunched over their phone, face serious, eyes locked under the screen, expression almost glued into concentration. You feel left out, ignored, forgotten, completely irrelevant in the world of the person who's supposed to care about you. You want to be seen again. You want to be visible in their world again. Maybe you just want to do something together. Maybe you just want a moment of closeness. But to them, you're invisible. Something on that phone has their full attention. You might know what it is. You might not. Maybe you see them texting, messaging someone on social media. Maybe you see them scrolling, shopping, watching content, or lost in a rabbit hole you're no longer a part of. Whatever it is, it's important to them. Far more important than you. So you say one simple word, "Hey," or "What are you doing?" or "Are you hungry?" And suddenly, you get the look. That cold, irritated glare. The look of death. The "how dare you interrupt me" expression. All you did was speak. One word and they're moody, annoyed, scornful. And you're left thinking, why? What is happening inside them? What did I interrupt? And that is exactly what we're going to break down in this video. 1. The phone is feeding their false self. When the narcissist is glued to their phone, understand this. They're not just distracted, they're feeding the fantasy. They're doing something that supports their false image. The image you no longer fuel because your supply has lost its potency. They no longer idealize you. They no longer see you as a perfect person who makes them feel grand, important, admired. Why? Because you seek love, you seek vulnerability, closeness, connection, and none of that aligns with their false self. So when you speak, you pull them out of the illusion they're desperately trying to maintain. 2. You interrupt their fantasy world. On their phone, especially late at night, the narcissist enters a world of fantasy, idealization, self-delusion, the perfect self they pretend to be, the attention they believe they deserve, the admiration they can't sustain in real life. They scroll through people who don't know them, people who can still be fooled, people who see the mask, not the truth. You, on the other hand, you are the mirror of reality. You know their flaws. You've seen behind the facade. You know the insecurities they hide. So when you say, "Hey," you're not interrupting a text. You're interrupting their escape, their illusion, their fantasy, their moment of pretending they're someone they're not. This alone makes them irritated. 3. New supply feels better than real connection. The people they're messaging or chasing, they're new, they're untested, they don't know the truth yet. These new sources don't see the flaws, haven't been devalued, still believe the charm, still fall for the mask, still treat them like a mystery. It feels ideal because it's distant. There's no real responsibility, no vulnerability, no accountability. Real intimacy feels threatening to them, but the idea of intimacy feels intoxicating, as long as it's far enough away to control. So when you speak, you drag them out of their fantasy pursuits, you pull them back into real life, where connection requires effort, honesty, and emotional presence, things they can't sustain. This is why they react as though you're a burden. 4. They're anxious and agitated when they're pursuing new supply. The narcissist is often in a state of pursuit, obsession, hunting, securing all bases, managing potential new sources, keeping their options open, trying to maintain dominance and control. This is mentally exhausting for them. It's unstable. It produces internal anxiety. Their new supply might not be secure yet. It might be slipping away. It might be at a distance. It might not be responding. So you asking, "What are you doing?" suddenly feels like you're pulling them away from a chase they're desperate to win. They're not mad at you. They're mad that you're blocking their access to the next illusion. 5. You remind them they are empty. This is the deepest layer. When you talk to them, when you break the spell of their fantasy, they are forced, even for a second, to return inside themselves. And inside, there's insecurity, emptiness, shame, self-hatred, lack of identity, emotional hunger, a void they cannot fill. You interrupt the illusion and bring them back to the truth, that without fantasy, without supply, without someone to manipulate, they feel like nothing. And nothing terrifies a narcissist more than facing themselves. So they lash out, they act irritated, they treat you like a nuisance, not because you're doing something wrong, but because your presence forces them into a reality they're desperate to avoid. 6. Narcissists want fantasy, not real progress. Real relationships require dedication, effort, consistency, vulnerability, growth, patience, appreciation. These are things that narcissists cannot maintain. They prefer novelty, illusion, chase, admiration, mystery, distance. Because the moment they get something, they lose interest. They only want what they don't yet fully have control over. This is why they chase fantasy and abandon reality. Seven, you didn't interrupt their peace. You interrupted their illusion. So understand this. When you speak to them, you're not interrupting a peaceful moment. You're interrupting their fantasy, their escape, their pursuit, their illusion of the perfect self, the distraction that keeps them from feeling empty. It's not that you're insufficient. It's not that you're undesirable. It's that they're emotionally starving and you're no longer the fantasy they can feed from. They don't water the garden. They don't nurture the connection. They don't build anything real. Because real requires presence, and presence requires self-awareness, and self-awareness forces them to face what they've been running from all along. If this video gave you clarity, make sure to like it so more survivors can find it. If you want one-to-one coaching, you can book a session with me at narcsurvivor.co.uk. That's where we do the deeper work and get you unstuck fast. If you'd like to support the channel, you can donate at paypal.me/narcsurvivor. It genuinely helps me keep creating these videos for you. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and turn on all notifications so you never miss any of the upcoming content. Your voice isn't the problem, their emptiness is. You didn't interrupt their peace. You interrupted their illusion. Their irritation is proof of their insecurity, not your inadequacy. You deserve someone who looks up when you speak, not someone who resents your existence.